Hello. What's up, everybody? I'm gonna adjust my camera here. We are good. All right. Welcome to PPI Friday. Cheers. Oh, yeah. I have my bullish mug here. Always bullish on caffeination, pre-caffeinating, post-caffeinating, all the caffeinations. We are opening up kind of middle of the overnight range. PPI came out a little bit hotter than expected, but I don't think it's crazy. It just kind of came out the inline for month over month. Core came out slightly up and slightly up year over year as well. We do have Michigan consumer sentiment preliminary come 9 o'clock a.m., so we may have some muted action beforehand, but could look to rally a bit off the low. Let me know if you have any questions about the day ahead. Currently, like I said, we are a little bit away from my levels here. If you kind of scroll out a bit, I added some things here down at the bottom. Let's go with the zoom in first quick. This area here, this purple target, is the next area down from the consolidation that we have here, right? So our previous leg up, if we go over to our 30-minute chart here on the NQ, you can see we're sitting in this area of consolidation currently. If we break down through that 370-ish, level down into the next level is 270 to 230 is this little consolidated area here. Break through that. Obviously, you can see we stair stepped our way up. Are we going to elevator down all the way through? Realistically, I think, we came up resistance here. I think the furthest downside potential we have for the week could be that 371, unless we start to really induce some heavy selling, breaking through levels like yesterday. I think we don't get a same type of day as yesterday. We could probably kind of grind rally back up into 625. That's not out of the realm of possibility either. So I think we could go further than that, honestly. But to the upside, downside, I'm not sure if we're ready for continued selling. If we do, there is room, right? There's room to that next level like I drew down here. So we have that level ready to go. Going to click around, make sure there's no chat. All right, cool. Market opens here in 1 minute. I got to fix this, make sure everything is good here. See no resting orders, crazy resting orders for the open. I'm not really too worried about that for the open. That's more as the day progresses. As we approach our key levels, you can see overnight levels are very tight. We do have a positive delta coming into the open here, but that changes very quick, and we'll see what happens, okay? So just be patient. It is Friday. Don't go ruining your whole week today. Limit your downside. If you have upside, take your money and run. Enjoy the weekend. But for now, let's see what happens on this open here. S&P's looking like it wants to pop through that overnight high that they just created right here on the open. Tilt is a little heavy long, 70%. I'm going to move this off this screen so you don't continuously see it. There we are. We're open. Quick little dip. S&P is getting heavy from the jump. Increasing volume as we expect for the market on open. But this opening range, I use the 1 minute opening range. I do watch, the 1 minute. I watch the 5. I watch the 15, the first 30, the first hour. Watch where price ends up. But that first 1 minute opening range is usually very indicative of what happens the rest of the day. NVIDIA is basically in the same range as it was as we closed yesterday. Pretty much the entire opening, the overnight range or pre-market range was within that lower band of price. Still looking at it now. So if we wick above this overnight high, I'm not convinced that we don't just rally today with that PPI wick. Basically same as the CPI wick from yesterday. But I'm going to be cautious, wait, see what happens with this. Opening range there is now completed. So we will do this. There to VWAP, basically. That's our opening range. A little bit deeper than that, actually. The low of that candle is set. All right, cool. See if the S&Ps will close below. That's a 5. Oh, 1. There we go. Kind of might have missed it, but I don't really think I'm ready for that to just be the move quite yet. It is 70% long, so that first initial drop off there makes sense. It's a little whippy currently. Price action is not as smooth as I would like it to be. NVIDIA looking to crack above 129. If NVIDIA cracks above 129, look for it to push up into 130 and then maybe make a decision around there if it wants to consolidate a little bit or if it wants to continue to pop and rally and drive us up forward. If S&P accepts above our range here, we do have some overhead resistance right there, which is not really that strong, but it is an area of interest, right? That 56.64 is interesting to me. If this can come back down and fail here, we'll watch the lower band here, see what we can get out of that. I'm watching pretty much everything. 78% long. I like that for my short idea. Good morning, Evan. What's up, brother? Delta's getting heavy. I want one more pop. Damn. Didn't get it quite yet. Get up there. With that 80% tilt to the long side, convincing me to go short. It would have been nice to short that 70 down to VWAP. I just didn't trust it quite there with the S&Ps holding up above 56.46. But I'm not going to be just hammering in right away. I want my whole setup to come play, show patience here. I'm not going to just enter in right here either because this is a supportive area here, VWAP. I don't like VWAP to just break and go. We're going to watch it. If we get down into these overnight lows, then I would start to look for longs. If we can get up over that overnight high again one more time, this tilt stays very tilty, very heavy long side. I will look to see if we can get continued delta divergence like we're getting right now. Heavy delta to the downside. Price is trying to tick back up, get up over that overnight high. Then we'll start to set our order here for the failed breakout. I want it to come up into maybe 480. 480 is a nice number for me to see as far as breakout is concerned. Maybe even 490 up into that area. Come up into this consolidated zone here from yesterday. The breakdown, trick some longs in, and then short it, but it's not quite making it. Showing its hand as it's still pretty heavy because the S&Ps is still rejecting 56.46. I don't normally like to short through this range, so if it comes down through and pops and retests up into the 440s, then maybe I'll short the secondary push down, but I'm not going to short the initial break of VWAP. Could just dance around in here. Let's see what the small caps are doing. Small caps are starting to push down as well. Russell's not doing a ton of anything. It's right middle of the opening range. Price action's kind of speeding up here. I don't see any crazy orders. Overhead, there was a bigger block. The price is actually moving very quickly right now. Very quickly. 100 lot at 439. Does 439 get tagged again? Probably not. Maybe. See if it gets filled. So there's 100 lot sitting at 439 and it's filled. You can see right here, 65 and 65. There's about a 120, 130 lot. Interesting. Still super long on the tilt. I like to fade the majority. That's my game here. What it is basically majority of retail is wrong. What that tilt meter shows you is the aggregate of all the top step retail traders, not their live funded accounts, but everything else. And so that shows what the majority of retail is, for the most part, thinking at these areas of interest and all that stuff. So if their majority is thinking long, then likely the big players want to go short and steal your money. I think it cracks this low. But right now, like I said, we're still middle of this opening range. Know how to kind of be patient. Let these setups come to you. There's no need to hammer into it right away. Right? That was a good trade if you were able to just catch it immediately. 69 basically down to VWAP. That's 30 plus points. That's your day right there. But it's not really easy to trust that high at that moment because I do think we do have room into that 80 to that 480 to 500 mark before this becomes a breakout failure, right? That's my strategy, is a breakout failure. It's not necessarily a touch the level and run away from it entry kind of trade. Yes, the levels are reactive. Yes, that could happen frequently, but it's not something that I find to be repeatable because I'll enter that overnight high touch and then it'll rip and rally from 69 to 500. That's 30 points. That's too much. I'm not risking that much on that trade, right? I'm able to manage my risk better as we re-enter the range. So tilt has kind of simmered down to 64% long. So we'll see maybe now that some of those weaker hand longs are out, then maybe it rallies here. Want to see what NVIDIA does. It's still kind of lingering between, just right in the middle of the pre-market range, right here at 128. Hasn't had the gusto to break through 129.12. Super interesting here. Like I said, I like the long, the idea of the long, but that is because of the way this wick looks, right? It's basically the same as the high. This wick right here, right through 2377, 371, right? That wick down on the PPI. And then you have this wick here on the top, right? Big wicky candle, big wicky candle. We were at a previous all-time high level. This was obviously all-time high level. This was good news technically. This was technically bad news. So if it's inverse of whatever happened yesterday, potentially could just clean up what happened yesterday, do all that fun stuff, and then go from there. But like I said, we're stuck in the opening range here. There's not a lot of what I want to do anything with. You can see Delta is very heavy. I do think that sellers still have control. Russell is popping upside, so small caps are still doing well. NVIDIA is still, I think that means flows go out of really with the Russell leading and pushing higher while NQ and ES pushes lower, is that the flight from the large major, Mag 7 tech names and the, people pouring into some of these smaller names that aren't necessarily as affected by the interest rate decision. Let me give it a check here. Why? Still nothing. Nothing. This is still in the opening range, super tight opening range. For the NASDAQ to have a 100-point opening range and 100 tick basically opening range here is a 30-point opening range. That's price is kind of stuck in. I would be cautious. 71% long. If we break through this overnight high and get tilty long, that's my nice indication that we are going to start to maybe indicate a failed breakout. The way this price has wound up, you can see Delta popped right there, still low, relatively speaking, from the beginning of the session. But if you get a heavy tilt pop through this overnight high, you should continue on. You should never really return back through here if you're not going to reaccept. So I'm going to wait, see if it'll go a little bit further up, like into the 80s, between 80 and 500, maybe close up there. And then give yourselves an idea of, okay, now that's a failed breakout. 71% long is not super tilty, but it is still a heavier tilt to the long side. S&P is pushing higher as well, right? You can see, so we are confirming above this 56.46, which does not indicate that I want to fail this overnight high yet on the NQ. NVIDIA is not getting bid up, so that's another indication that this may be a failed breakout. But like I said, it's not guaranteed. I do like the long side. However, I maybe like it later on. I want this to be like a quick little move here. I'm going to wait, let it close, let this candle get here. I want to time it correctly. If we push this S&P into 56.46, then potentially a short could come in here. I wanted this up a little higher. I didn't think that this was going to fail that easily. That was a nice, pretty much good entry there. I just didn't quite take it. I think maybe we get one more pop off to the high side. S&P is still getting good buying delta. That to me is concerning for this to be a failed failure. I think we do have a little bit more. Like I said, we're still too far above this overnight high here for the S&Ps to confirm my idea of a failed breakout. I like the breakout idea from that PPI number. Where was the high of the PPI? So the bottom here never quite came back to it. We did close below. Close above, close below. NVIDIA is rolling over a little. Mm-hmm. Oh, man, I would have had the wrong size. Good thing I checked that first. That's interesting. Nobody on Tradecaster. Damn, that was a good short. Just kind of tricked myself into not taking it based on this being above here. That was a really nice, clean entry for our strategy. Didn't take it. It's all right. No worries on that. We'll possibly get another one. If we do kind of crack through this area here, I liked that short, but we could still see if we can crack through these lows, come down, break, retest, get a short from 430. That's another good idea here to kind of get a confirmation and a flush below it. That's unfortunate. 60 to 40, even if you just shorted the opening range high down to VWAP, that's 20 points. Clean, easy money right there. Hopefully you took it if you were a little bit aggressive. Still 73% long, so still confirming that we may go lower. I didn't like the strength of the S&P relative to the NQ. That was my only concern. Maybe we get up there one more time, gives me an opportunity. Again, Russell still pushing upside. NVIDIA right down to the bottom end of this little consolidation, made a new low technically for the morning and caught a little bit of a bounce. Not crazy. The low of that candle was 127.22. Patience paying. Let's see if this will hold. If this is going to now be a break. Give me that wick of the high, up through 80, up into 90s. Then you give me the failure through the overnight high. That'll give me a more confirmed short idea for myself personally. Let's see what the rig man is doing. All right, we're starting to push towards the 80 mark. Starting to push towards the 80s. Let's see if the 80s will give you like a nice hard wick. Let's see what's going on over here on the Delta. Pretty strong buying pressure there. I want to see this wick off through 80, up closer to 500, then fail that. That would be a nice, get people long. There we go. That's a push into 80. Let's see. We'll stop sell through there. If it decides to come back, that's really my thought process. You're going to kind of stair step your way up. And if that's going to go into 80 and not break out immediately, then you're going to be a failed breakout. If it's going to break out and go, then it should never really come back down into that overnight range. It did enough of the accumulation, I would say, to accumulate enough orders here to take it up higher now at this point if it wants to go. If not, 76% long. That's, the easier trade. Delta, I like it. I'm going to take it if it breaks. If it doesn't break, like I said, then this is a strong actual breakout. Watch the rotation back up to 625. 20,625. Nice little push. Nice. You can see this consolidation here. This is why I wanted to come into this range up into that 500 area, because there's orders here, there's price here. But then if we come back down and fail that should at least push us down back to where we wanted to go through the low here of this. There's still downside pressure that could be had, like I said, until that purple box below. So if we do not accept above here and we start to fail this, then this should give us that confirmation that this should bust down. But like I said, I like that long idea from that 71 level, right? This wick here kind of giving you the idea that, all right, let's grab all these orders. And now we're just going to rotate back higher based on the news. 9 o'clock, we are going to get a number. So if we are in a trade, we're going to mitigate. If we're not in, we're going to just be hands off and we're going to wait and see what happens. I'll show you what happens on the dome. Bigger orders are getting filled right now, 10, 20s. Probably that was probably one larger order there. 30, 50, maybe 100 lot there at the top. 75% long. Good on them. There is a large resting order up above at 500. So 500 probably gets tagged with that magnet order there. And then we'll see what happens off of 500. Nice clean delta break to the high side. Russell's kind of creeping down. See, for me, like I said, I like this trade here. The second touch failure breakdown to VWAP. VWAP, there's a reason why it's my target. And another reason why I don't necessarily take a break of it to go continue short. I wait. I be patient for it to see what's going to happen with it. But a lot of times, NVIDIA's right now at 129 even. So if we don't break above here and kind of hold, then I would expect the failure to come at that 500 level here and rotate down. I like this for that because, this is why I trail quick and move my trails as I approach VWAP, or I hit my targets at VWAP, because I don't want this to happen, right? Because a lot of people tend, especially with NASDAQ, if you're the type of person that wants to have this thing swing lower, go deeper, it's going to sweep orders up above. It's going to sweep orders down below. So it wants to just really expand and just take all the orders that it possibly can get before it moves into a direction. So for me to enter this and then trying to be, realistic about your stops, it's very difficult to say that you're not going to get stopped out on anything short there if it's going to do what it just did, right? So for my idea there, longs do make sense based on price action, put shorts up until we get some confirmation, right? It's still on the table. We are still, in a downtrend type, not downtrend, but we did make that low, yesterday, and I would anticipate some range type of trading today. You don't normally get that full recovery the next day, but with that PPI number, it kind of just totally cancels out what happened yesterday with that CPI number, right? They're conflicting and all that good stuff. $500 broke, 73% long. Their average position's at 455. So good on them. Long from 455. They are not taking any heat. Extended away from that standard deviation of VWAP. I don't see any big orders currently that I would be thinking of kind of running to. Nothing that's resting that I can see. They're flashing some size above, but I don't know if that's going to do anything. Fridays tend to be trendy, especially late. They get into a direction and they start going and going and going and going and going. I liked that long idea. I'm going to get rid of this order because it's not failing, right? I wanted the failure to come between 80, wick 500, and go down with that tilt to being the high side. I like this to 625. That 639.75 level also could be interesting, but 600 to 625, maybe even a full recovery. Nvidia holding above that 130 or 129.12. I apologize. They're pushing up into the 130s. I'm still flat. I could have executed on this right here for 600 ish. Right, that nice little clean move right there, net you 600. That's all it takes, right? Is that's the strategy. This big move is great if you can catch it and be confident in it. I really liked it because of this wick of the low here. This was through a previous all-time high level. I anticipated coming back and maybe testing this a little bit, maybe on that third try, giving it a shot, getting that rotation down. Let's see what happens with this. If this is a failed breakout, we should not get below this level. I'm not going to take that immediate crack of it. I want to see what happens right here. If it breaks and holds, then maybe we'll take that short because that did extend pretty far out above. NVIDIA is trying to fail it, trying to break back down below 129.12. So we are rotating back down with VWAP. That larger size popped back up above. It's kind of just flash. It's right here right now, actually. It flashed some size right above. Tried to draw price just up a little bit. So they're doing a little bit of price manipulation here. Trying to draw it up to pull it down hard. I feel like this is a trap for longs. I feel like they want to really get longs involved, thinking that, oh, we can recover most of this move from yesterday. And then the trend continues downside, at least maybe down into that purple box there. I mean, if it catches a Friday continuation, then potentially even deeper. So I wouldn't be surprised, right? 20 points through a zone isn't terribly obnoxious. We still kind of were in the consolidation from yesterday. If you look here, just straight kind of to the left. Let me go on this chart here. If you look straight to the left, you see this is kind of where we just went right into this little consolidated area, trying to hold below that 512 to 530. You know, it still has in that area 512 to 530, which is kind of where we're at right now. So that's kind of what's interesting to me as far as why it stopped right there. Like I said, it's all zones. If you kind of just go through this simply, it's all basic zones and support and resistance. If you kind of just go here, this is the area where we're at right now. There could be even a wick and hold above that, you know, kind of wick, fail it, start to rotate back. The next area would be that 90. I would like to see a rising type wedge pattern coming into here, like we've seen in the past, right? Rising wedge, up into there. If you start to see that form, really tightened up price action, I would be interested in that to go short. But look, this thing is just kind of running right into here, getting strong. It is Friday. Capital Preservation Friday for me. I am just chilling at the moment, right? I did not catch this long. I'm looking for failed breakouts. So for me, this first attempt here to go long through that breakout area, I did not take that. But that's a nice little move if you are a breakout trader, right? We're basically not enemies, but you're looking to go long through those breakouts. I'm looking for those breakouts to stop and then fail. I like that. I like that a little bit. 548. The higher end of that, actually. 548. I pulled it a little bit low. It should be right there. No, I think that's actually fair. It shouldn't hold above that. It can give me some wicks, but we'll see what happens in that zone. Just because I didn't take the trade doesn't mean it wasn't one. I just did not execute on it. You can't be surprised. I'm surprised. You are surprised. Plus 80. I'll take it. Still no power. Jeez. How much of the city still doesn't have power? Because that's a pretty long time. I am not surprised that this is rallying here. This is exactly what I kind of expected to happen. And personally, I'm just not into that long there. Oh, yeah, that's not. I saw that yesterday when I was driving over there. They're just laying on the power lines. Well, hopefully soon. Keep complaining. That was a really strong breakout candle on the 30-minute. We have the 9 o'clock number coming out. Let's see what happens with this consumer sentiment number. Came in at 66, so worse than expected. See what happens with price action. Strong on that. Wide whippy price action. Let this settle in some. Good going into the number. If you were long, boop. Gonna recover this entire push up to 625. 625 up to 639 is that next area of interest. Gonna run right into the base of that. 587. The low of that overnight there was 579, 580. So basically 580 to 590. We're right in that area now. So we burned right through this. Looks like it wants to make a full recovery. That was a clean long. I loved that long off the bottom early. Just didn't quite have that in the bag for strategies right now, especially with just trying to execute our A+ setups, stuff that we're looking to do, right? Normally, I would try and take that long if the previous day high was a little closer. A very extended previous day high away from the overnight high. I don't like to take that because I don't have that idea that it's going to pull to it. I do believe that the numbers and the powers that be were kind of the conflicting nature of the numbers kind of really didn't help this to continue down. But I also think that we still do have that chance that it does break back through, except through that overnight high and start to move lower. But like I said, it's 76% long, which I find is wild. If we run into this 56-64 quarter, that could be resistance. Wasn't very strong support yesterday. It really just trying to find levels in all-time high areas for the S&Ps and in the NQ, starting to rotate off of it. Oh, I hate when I move things like that. Capital preservation. I don't think you'd be getting wrecked. I don't know what your entry would be. I think we probably want to run up into that 56-64 before we're considering shorts in the NQ, right? Just kind of eyeballing that as support. I love it when it's super tilty long. I like to short it. Yes, it's 76% long, but their long average price is 503. So they've added to winners if they technically haven't, really diminished the tilt. So we have a long from here. The first long was from there. These longs are in the money. 24% shorts. Average short price of 497. 497. That's out of the money. So the small percentage of shorts are getting kind of squeezed out right here. And these longs, even though they're 75%, 76%, they are in the money. So they're not panicking out of anything yet. So there's not like a reason for it to capitulate out of this quite yet. You start to see it give some pushes. Then maybe, you're seeing Delta slow down up here, which is good. I want to see this kind of wedge out a little and the other way. I want to see NVIDIA get back down below 129.12. That'll help me out. I like this, but I'm not trusting this as a short idea because I could just be a nice little pullback into a support area and then a rally. I want to see it kind of come up in here, fail this, start to rotate back down. I need to only execute near my levels. That's the way I stay consistent, the way I stay profitable. I say pullback, rally, continues. 625 up to the 639.75 level. That's more interesting for me to consider looking for not a reversal pattern, but some sort of short idea at that area, because that's the next area of consolidation where there was price action, right? We moved cleanly through, from this areas. If you just look at it a little bit longer term, I'm going to go to these charts here. If you look at it a little bit longer term, right, we had this consolidation here. We support. This was a previous all-time high, this dotted white line. We used that as support. We rallied clean straight up, base rally, a little bit of pullback right to there, rally. So level to level, this clean move here, we kind of just burned right through it, right? So we burned through these levels. Now we're retracing these levels. The next area of interest is from this consolidation, right? We stuck in this. Now we're pushing back out. Where's the next area of interest? Next area of interest is that 625, right? This area here from 78 to 625 and just above, right? So that's where there's the next area of interest for this price to go. I mean, if you could pick that top there and then scalp it quick and take your money and then not get any sort of greed once you see that trend line break, and just either trail out or take your money or, whatever you're going to do with this, you just have to have a plan. I can't say that's not part of my strategy, right? That's not something that I want to do, Scott. But if you feel that that's something that you see consistently repeatable over a period of time, like, it's good. Price is going to move, right? That's the one thing about this market. And I've kind of stole this saying from somebody. I don't remember who said it. I think it was Rake Trades. I want to give him credit. He basically said that markets make moves, but it doesn't necessarily mean that there was a trade for you personally. Yeah, there could be other strategies. There could be other things that there were trades. Obviously, all this is trades being executed back and forth all day. But for me, all I'm doing in order to try and stay profitable, in order to stay consistent, is only execute what I see that sets up, and then I can execute it every single time, right? And then have a confidence that it's going to work 70-80% of the time. So then I can go ahead and shoot my shot at it and know that I'm good to go. I'm not looking to just take a quick short off a pullback just because I think the level feels right or it looks good or we're at a spot where it's kind of interesting, right? Because we saw yesterday, right? That's when you start to get yourself into trouble. If you think, oh, we got to this level, I'm going to buy here. 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 And then all the way down, you just get burned and burned and burned and burned. But if your strategy is something where you're able to catch these little bounces, right? If you think you can catch these levels and just catch these little moves, somehow there's an indication that's telling you it's slowing down, it's going to pull back here to the next level, then good on you. That's your strategy. That's cool. I'm not going to bash anybody's strategy at all. I think as long as you can do it repeatably over time, then you're good. I think just to develop good habits, it's a bad habit to just say, I think that this is good here because no reason. It just is a short. I want a short here, and then go, right? Yeah, I mean, it's all relative to risk tolerance. It's all relative to, like, realistically, if you're looking at order flow, right? If we're watching this chart here, and then you see like a large block sitting right here, like let's say this yellow line is 100 lot or something, it's not 60 lots, and you're like, all right, it's going to hit off that, and it's going to sell quick right off that lot, that 60 lot. So you set your order there and you just hope to catch it and then pull it to this side of that, order block. If that's the kind of trades that you're looking to catch, then yeah, maybe that's a really good strategy. Like, that'll indicate why you're looking to short that area or not, right? Because you're looking for larger size orders sitting on the book. You're reading tape, you're understanding, what these kind of larger players are trying to do to you. Are they trying to pull you to the price so they can burn through you, right? Just to keep pushing price higher? Or are they putting these prices here because they actually want to execute these orders at these price points in order to get filled to go the other way, right? So that's kind of just what you have to think about. Really what would tell me to short this is if this price is making a new high and this delta stays down here making a lower high, right? Price making a new high, delta making a lower high, giving you a little bit of a divergence, saying that there's not aggressive buyers coming in at these highs. There's less aggressive buyers. There's more aggressive sellers up overhead than there are buyers, right? So if this price were to just give you a nice little wick up into that 580, and this delta were to just kind of be fizzling out and failing, then maybe it would, tell me that we're going to turn over. But realistically, right now, this delta right here is showing me that it wants to pop this high. Price wants to pop this high. When they both act in confluence, then you're probably going to get a nice little push up into that 600 area if it does go. If not, then if we're going to start to falter and they both falter at the same time, you start to see what's going on with it, right? If this starts to melt off and this doesn't catch up, I would say that that's not quite ready to go short either, right? So there's a lot of confluence that I look for reasons to actually go short where I'm convinced, hey, this is short. We're also like in no man's land for me personally. I just drew up this purple box because I saw it as a confluence from yesterday. Realistically, it did work as a support area, right? So now we have that. We know, okay, it is reactive here. We are looking at this spot. This looks like it should be something that could be, reactive in any sort of the way. So I'm interested in this level, but I'm not trading it. But also now we're above it and we're holding. So up over here, I don't want to execute anything in this dark matter, right? In the dark matter where there's nothing in this space of time, I don't want to be executing. That's where I get myself into trouble. That's where I'm like, oh, I found a setup. I found a setup. I found a setup. I found a setup. And that's when I get burnt. So I appreciate your kind words there, sir. I'm literally just trying to keep myself from over trading, and I've made these mistakes just like you've kind of said that your kind of your ideas, and I can see why. It looks like a great setup and it looks like something that would work really, really short term, right? That move there, if you really decided that you were going to top tick it, somehow you figured, all right, this is the top tick, I'm going to do this 70 down to 40, that's a good move. I mean, I can take that all day. But you got to understand, why did it react there? What, you don't have like a reason why, then there's no reason to enter. We all continuously, you can't see the time in sales? Let me see. The time in sales is here, right here, Carlos. Can you see these? If you need me to move it, I'll move it. I can see what you mean. I'm gonna move it up. Is that better? Right here? Okay, got you. So here, you can see that. So I set this filter also just to kind of explain what I'm looking at on the time and sales. I set this filter to be any order larger than 10. That's just showing me bigger sizes getting filled. Realistically, the reason I set it to 10 is because I want to see some of these other larger orders getting filled. Because these bigger orders, these 50s, these hundreds, these 200s, these 500 lot contracts that are on the book that you can actually see, they're going to get broken into smaller pieces, into 20s, into 15, into 30. Because there's not a lot of people out here just hammering at, they're not going to match up 100 lot to 100 lot, right? What we're looking at is actual live data feeds, right? When I go over to here and you're looking at this is a live data feed. This is the actual CME book that people are placing orders on, and it's the only exchange. That's the difference between futures and equities, right? Equities, you can route your trades through CBOT. You could, ARCA, all these names, anything like Morgan Stanley, any of these names, you could route your orders through and kind of hide your orders in different types of way. With the futures, you're on the CME exchange, you're getting CME data. Everything that you're getting is shown through here. Yes, there are probably some hidden orders out there with the algos and whatnot, but you're seeing the book here. So like I said, if we zoom in on this, these lot sizes here, you're not going to be able to see great because it's a little smaller, but this red line here is a 30 lot. You got a yellow, you got some flashing up there, 38. There's a 75 lot up there. It's not easy to see, so I'm not going to, go crazy showing it to you, but you can tell there's a big size sitting right here, bigger size. It's 69 lots, 50 lots. See what happens if it gets filled. I'm looking for a 59 at 65. So at 65, if I go over to, we're so extended from my range that I'm not really looking to trade it right this second, but I do like this wedge pattern that's starting to form. So Scott, now that I'm outside of my zone. Basically, this is just a no trade zone, no fly zone. I'm not doing nothing, right? I mentioned 65, right, Carlos? And you could see there was a 50 lot, 60 lot sitting there. That 60 lot got broken into 1412, 1412. It's broken into, right, maybe somebody was sitting there hitting the bid with this kind of size, just trying to fill that order, right? But 65, that bigger size, that's 28 and 24, that's that 60 lot, right? Give or take a couple whatever contracts. So that was that order right there. That was that order getting filled, but broken into pieces, right? So I keep it at a 10 lot because I want to see some of those really, really big pieces. The hardest thing in trading is patience. It's probably the most important thing as well. I think what gets me in trouble, I still get in trouble doing it, right? It's not like I'm doing great at it, but I'm working on it, and I constantly work on being patient with it. NVIDIA right now is creeping right back to that 129.12. So that's giving me some pause on a long. If I am long, if you are long, I'm just saying. Gonna go ahead and use this. Give me a second. 100K. This 56, 64 quarters. That breaks down, then you start to see the rotation back lower. Maybe we get below this purple box. I really don't have any trade. Like I said, I'm extended away from my levels. I liked that long here. That was a really good, like I said, once that started to kind of creep up, I just didn't like it as far as my strategy is concerned. Could just come up here and consolidate right on top of this level, create a new consolidated zone, and then from there make its move. But I don't have anything quite yet. I like it as far as the way it's set up, right? Made a higher high. Delta now, like I said here, same deal, made a higher. They're acting together. Delta and price are not diverging to me. There's not a ton of really great, like Russell is just crushing. So small caps are still taking the lead on the day. So some of these small cap names are probably doing really well. Money's trying to flow. So how it really works, I guess with this interest rate environment, normally tech companies don't do well in high interest rate environments, but it seems like they want no rate cut. It's confusing the way everything is backwards, the way the correlations work with the numbers and all the data and all that stuff. So realistically, we're trading price action. We're kind of just reading intraday stuff. It's good to note some of these things of like money flows and the way price. Oh, what am I doing? I don't want to kick my power cord out. The way money flows work, basically, it's just like sector to sector. Bigger funds are kind of moving money around all the time. They're rebalancing. They're working orders. Let's say that they want to flow into today. They think the hot sector is pharmaceuticals. You can go check the pharmaceutical sectors. If you go over to here, I'll show you the sector ETFs. 11 sector tractor. Okay, let's see. Sector tractor. I cannot speak words today. All right, here's the sector tractor. Sector tracker. That's my stupid word for the day. Hell yeah, that's a cool 79. I like it, dude. Go to bed. You will be. I know you will. Anybody who wants to do this is always back. They'll always come back. Currently, we're looking at today's sector tracker. S&P index is getting some flows into it. Communication sector is losing money. Discretionary is obviously leading the way. Discretionary and technology is leading. You're seeing flows out of energy and financials, and you're seeing, like I said, into some of these other names here. So energy, it shows what these ETFs are doing. You're going to look at, when you get a little more specific, these are just the spider trackers. You could go and look at Soxal, Soxa. All those things are going to also be ETFs to track, right? So just good information. If you wanted to learn a little bit about this, I will post it in here. It'll kind of just give you an idea of what these things are. If you want to start to understand sectors and what money flows do back and forth. I haven't traded. I haven't made any trades here. That long from 440 looks really nice, but I do like this eventually to just fade off and start to continue to push downside. I would be interested if this decides to come into here. So 440 down here, very interesting. Overnight high, if we can crack through that, that means VWAP gets cracked. That means we're starting to really rotate through and down. Like I said, I was very interested in longs through the previous day lows and overnight lows, but did not get there. So it's not a big deal. I don't like to just play a breakout right here, right then and there. If you are a 15-minute orb person, I guess that would have gave you a nice, like, as soon as that 15 minutes ended, giving you the breakout immediately and never coming back to it. That's a nice little play. I like that kind of being the top there. Although I don't trust that it's going to, start to pump down at all right this second. Delta not doing the same, but Nvidia is starting to creep back down below that 129. So this does give this a little bit of legs to the downside. Start to see if 64 fails in the S&Ps. That would be a crack of this little trend line. Start to rotate back to the downside. I want to see the bottom of this give out, that 520. That would be a real true failed breakout, right? I like the short continuation through my overnight high, right? I could short from here and rotate it all the way down and through, but that's not part of my strategy. That's not part of my setup. I am playing failed breakouts. Is this a breakout retest go long? It could be, but I would like to see if we can get through these levels and then in kind of flush through 500 before I make any sort of decision on if I'm going to go short or not, or if I'm going to go long. Depends on what kind of setup I get. Could come back up, get up to 560 and start to rotate back. Holding above 56.64 does give this some more firmness to kind of hold that level there. Nope, nothing doing right now for me. Still holding strong with 0 trades. Just being kind of very standoffish. Sorry for the little cough. Clear my throat. I do want to see something happen. It is Friday, like I said. A lot of times Fridays tend to get going in a direction and start to kind of grind that way the rest of the day. Although I believe it was not last Friday, it was the Friday before. Let's see, Tuesday, Monday, Sunday, Friday. Not that Friday. Friday was trendy. That Friday. There we go. On 2 Fridays ago, we did this similar type of rally up to our secondary level and then just sold off, starting at 9:30-ish, rallied up into 9 and sold off 9:30 the rest of the day. So really, I mean, we're kind of right up at that point of where if we were going to fail a rally, it would probably be now and then start its rotation the other direction, with the timing of it, right? Timing of it, the time of day, not necessarily the time of the setup. Could also just time correct all the way down to this trend line, all the way down to VWAP. There's a lot of things that could happen. And I'm not trying to play coulds. I'm just trying to, NVIDIA actually breaking down through 129 again, 129.08, 129.12. Any news? Consumer sentiment falls 8 straight month low as inflation worries persist. Pushing into greed somehow after yesterday's sell-off. Is there a good order flow going? Tightened up some pricing. 50 lots. 60 lot below at 44. Overhead, you have a 50 lot just over. I feel like they're just flashing the same size above and below to try and get to see which direction it's going to go. 70 lot up above, around 68. $75 up over at 40, at 64, I should say. And down below, I'm seeing 536. There's a decent size down below. 533. There's a 60 lot. They're kind of flashing and coming back and forth. 50s, 60s. So just kind of nothingness for me. Green today. Well done, Carlos. I like it. I like it a lot. I love seeing everybody go green. I like being flat. It's the same as not losing money. It's really a nice thing. Personally, I don't have a ton of confidence until this comes down into this area here. I'm going to kind of just hold for a bit. Maybe if it pushes up into that 639, I'll take something. So it's up at that 639 level is where I'll start to be interested in shorts. 625 to 640 in that zone. I'm proud of you, Carlos. Good on you for going short there, taking your money and being green. If you are green on the day already and now you're looking to kind of just see what's going on, I don't have a ton of conviction for you in the direction until it starts to make its move again. If you took the long, you're probably out at this point based on the way this price action went, unless you're very good at holding. And now your swing low is here, but I would guess that you made a new high. Your swing was here. You probably got stopped out below 40s. So realistically, it's kind of you made a good bit of change there if you were long. If you're short from the highs, you made a decent, a little bit there as well. That's that wedge pattern above a zone right into another zone. So like I said, it's kind of just picking and choosing your setups, your A+ setups. Mine never set up, right? My setup is failed breakout rotation. I didn't get it, so I didn't execute. Yes, this is a great move, but it's not in my strategy. I'm not playing breakouts. I'm bad at playing breakouts. If I were to have taken a long today, it would have needed to pull back into this zone, or it would have needed to rally up, pull back, fail to hold below this overnight high and start to rotate back out. That's when I would look to start to long this. For me, a straight breakout after a huge push down, yeah, I mean, it's not necessarily a straight breakdown because you got this consolidated, liquidity here, wicked it all, then you came back up, right? Like that's a great setup if you're trading that. I intentionally didn't come to the computer for PPI because I did not want to trade it. I didn't want to get involved in it too early. So for me, I didn't want to get this, and then coming back to it and then starting to rotate off of it for the open. This makes a lot of sense here. This was my trade right there. I didn't execute on it. That's on me, but realistically, I'm not getting FOMO over it. I just didn't have, I had everything lining up, but the S&Ps and even NVIDIA kind of wasn't really quite playing along with me yet there. So I wasn't looking to execute there. And realistically, it is a good trade. It is my setup. It is a nice little quick grab and you're out without much heat. I'm not trying to say that it wasn't a good trade, but you could see if you were looking to get this to maybe get some follow through, it still wasn't that home run trade, right? It wasn't going to be. It never was. The trade of the day was the long right there, right? So that's just my talking through for myself for the most part. Oopsie. Nvidia caught a bid there. Nothing that I see right this second. This does look like a nice continuation, right? Come in, get some shorts trapped, rotate us back up, push us up, and S&P is still going up higher. Where is that next level of resistance for the S&Ps? Kind of right into here. I'm not looking to execute just to execute, but I did say at that 625 up to that 639, that's where I'd be interested in as far as upside targets are concerned. This is a really good move, clean off of that low. Like I was mentioning, because the S&Ps was holding up over here, I didn't want to short this. That trade right there was my money for the day. So, it is what it is. But honestly, the long just was calling out like, hey, go long, go long, go long, because of that wick off on the bottom from that PPI number. Just kind of that immediate reaction downside, then a quick pop right back up, hold that previous level, that 371 level, and then start to rally back up. If we're going level to level, we are going to run into some resistance at 625. So I want to see, maybe a rising wedge pattern up here at 625. That's going to start to get me involved. Right into that upper band of VWAP again. This is 65 lot, 600 at 100. Now it popped up to a 50 lot at 610. Stronger delta. I am not executing. It is clean, very nice, clean price action back and forth. Like I said, I'm just not in the long game right now. I'm being very cautious, very patient. I want this up to 625 ish. We are in that consolidated zone now between 80. What is this low here? Is 7. It's basically 80 to 626. So 80 to 626 in that area there. 80 to 615 to 625. So we are starting to get to an area where I would be interested in a short if we get that rising wedge to kind of start to form here, get up into that 639, 625, 639. Want to see what happens with this S&P over here. Very, very, very chill at the moment. It is Friday. I don't go crazy on Fridays. I'm trying not to overtrade, try not to do anything where I'm just going to execute just to execute. Um, Realistically, like I said, my strategy, my A plus strategy didn't happen. It did minus a few key points, which kept me out. And that's okay. It's okay to be kept out of your trade if it's not necessarily setting up perfectly. Let's see what happens with this now uptrend. I would like to see this hold up until 25, start to give me that wedge, start to kind of recover that, and then I would see that wedge from all the way up into 39.75. Weird. That's a good number. NVIDIA is starting to push. NVIDIA has up to 130.80-ish. So could rotate out of that and start to rotate back down. NVIDIA, I should say. 130.80, 131 technically, I guess, would be a nice round number. But 130.80, 81 for the next overhead spot where NVIDIA might get some resistance. But if it starts to catch some legs, then this may just continue on all the way back, recovering pretty much everything from yesterday. The long idea from the bottom, like I said, I liked it a lot. Just not quite able to execute on that because I didn't have it as part of my plan for the day. I wanted to see that get into maybe, into this previous day low at least to try and get that. I see price start to slow down. I want to see Delta start to slow down. That's the only thing that's going to indicate anything for me. For the reversal, Russell's starting to curl downside. Yesterday basically just was a good reprieve for people to buy up that all previous all-time high breakout spot, right? That 71 was super important to me. 71 right here. If I were to be trading pre-market, I mean, once you fail that seems like a good rally point. Probably should have looked to go long through the overnight high on that third touch. Looking at hindsight capital, as they would say. But overall, like I said, 0 trades for me, no executions. I am flat on the day. Hopefully, patience pays for me moving forward. Doing stuff like this where I'm not hammering into things just to hammer in is a good thing for me. I like this up to 40 and then start to fail this level. So let's see what happens with this. If I can get some sort of like rising wedge, like I said, or something where I get a wick off high up into this area here and then start to fail and then break down this trend line, then maybe a short could come in for me because it is at one of my really major key structure levels here that I have drawn up right there. If you can see that major structure level from once, twice, 3 times, support, broke through. Now we're coming back, retesting this as a breakdown point. Is that going to be a retest, break, retest, move lower? Could this be the location where that short comes into play? That's something that I'm looking at. Absolutely, right here. %80 long on the tilt. I don't want to short just based off a tilt, but that level is key. I want to see it maybe give me one more big wick candle type deal. A tightening wedge up here. If I get one of those, you've seen it work out time and time again on the stream. We are holding up above 56.77 and a quarter on the S&Ps, so that's just another indication that we are staying kind of strong here, right? That's that support level. If this is going to recover the S&P's entire move, that's going to be pretty crazy. You got to have balls to make some good trades in this game, and today I kind of just did not execute. I'm not looking to be upset about it. I would like to take one if I get my setup up here at these highs. Nvidia still rocking and rolling to the high side. I like this level for Nvidia. I'm going to drop a line there. %80 long on the tilt. 80% long on the tilt. Pretty heavy tilt here. I like this to go the other way. Give me a whip off high. 82% long on the tilt. Bigger size here, right above, flashing, going away, flashing at 645. Price is speeding up a little bit. Tilt is not necessarily playing along. Give me a wick off high here. A manipulative candle up over this 639. I will try to short back through 639.75 or through this low here. I want to see this wick off high. Mm, 82% long with an average price of 545. That's crazy that their average price is 545. If this is going to fail this breakout of this level, then we're going to short it, but I don't know if it's going to. Nvidia's looking to crack right through 130.80. Mm-hmm. Not looking for a crazy move. Looking for a nice little pullback. Break down from this level. Russell calming down a little bit. S&P's tilting a little bit downside. I mean, as far as Delta is concerned. See if this short to play through here, through 30. If I'll get it. If it doesn't trigger, it doesn't trigger. Let's see. We're going to get triggered in here through 30. This is major structure short. If it does trigger, I didn't want to get triggered if it didn't break through this level, which is good that I did not take that yet. It's not quite ready to go. I do like that wick off high there as an idea. NVIDIA is still kind of strong, 70% tilt. Delta is still pushing strong, right? Not quite getting a divergence yet. A crack below this candle here is 30, is the one standard deviation from VWAP. This is an extension trade, basically looking for a pullback down through this level into this next key, 20s, 10, 20 points, catch my money and trail tight because this is strong, this market right now. If we get another push up over that 50, I'll set my entry a little bit higher. Here we go. Waiting for this break of 39. The tilt went super heavy and then dissipated. So interesting for me. 35. Some size here down below, just above 54 lot. Will it get filled? Will that 54 big delta candle push to the upside? Let's see if that's going to be an indication of a liquidity grab. If it fails, I'm going to go ahead and be short here. Let's see if it'll fail, pull back down deeper into this lower level here, maybe into 17s, 20s. I am going to trail quick because, like I said, I'm not trusting that this isn't still a good breakout here. But we are going to get triggered in probably short here. I'm willing to risk my normal one trade on it. I'm not going to go hammering in. I'm going to just take my first trade, risk to just above here, 35, 45, 10 points-ish, and go from there. See if this S&P will pull back a little. Nice little delta push. If we can crack below this standard deviation, that's 634, 635. That's going to give us a nice little pop to the downside. Holding this 39. This looks nice to me for the short, but if we continue to push up, I don't see why not. The bulls are in control right now. 9:51, couple minutes before I have to not execute anything. So we'll see if the high of the day cracks and continues us upside. Not really interested in that if it does. Up to the top of that, there is 668. 668. 668. Not out of the realm of possibility right there. Yeah, this is just a be patient rally. This is continuing to go. Is that the break? This looks nice to me, right? I'll pull back into there. Not a terrible idea down to 90, maybe 600. It's a decent target. Try to time it. This is all about timing. I'm willing to take this risk here from here to here. I'm not going to go right up against this 639 level. I think that could come back down, get retested again, and then bounce. 668 is the next really level of where there could be more people interested. But if it's going to stop right here before 60, That's a good area for rotation. Back to the downside with my major structure levels, with Delta still trying to push up, but price kind of fizzling out here, not really getting aggressive up to the upside. There is somebody sitting right there at 668. He is at 668, 53 lots. So could get drawn to 668, 644. There's a 50 lot there. We'll see which one wins on the draw. NVIDIA now holding above 130.78. That was the next overhead resistance that I saw for the high of Monday. NVIDIA is still holding that. Still holding. And I think that's going to do it. I'm going to close that right here. No entries yet. Still waiting. I have to wait till the hourly close now. So I'm going to wait for the hourly close, see what happens with it. Probably will break down now. But I got to stick to my rules. That's the only way we're going to be successful in this game. So if it does break here, then so be it. It is what it is. It waited till that 5 minutes, till the hour to give me my entry, which is great. I don't want to break my rules. I'm going to stick to that on here. No breaking of the rules. And if it does what I expect within the next 5 minutes, then we should still be safe. You know, maybe we'll be into that 30 area where we can potentially short the break of this, right? Maybe a retest, secondary high, and then a rotation down. But that's just me being stubborn to my rules, and that's a good thing in this game. You want to stick around long term, stick to your rules, don't overtrade. I don't need to just keep hammering and hammering and hammering. I'm good with sitting flat all day. I'll watch the whole day and not take anything. That's cool with me. Yeah, like I said, it could go, could not go. NVIDIA is looking like it wants to rotate down from here. You can see NVIDIA right there. Let me pull that chart up. This is your NVIDIA chart. You can see starting to rotate down through that 130.78. So potentially looking to start accepting below here. I'm waiting for this to close on the hourly. Really what it is the close of the 30. But it's every hour there tends to be a little bit of, whippy price action, some spread issues. I'm not trying to get ticked in on some sort of whippiness just on an hourly close, because a lot of people reevaluate hourly. So I'm going to watch to see what happens here with this candle. If we start to accept and hold below that 39 to 25 area, then I'm going to start to look to enter short. Not looking for an entire recovery of this, but as much of it as I possibly can get. I want to execute on that pullback, but I want to wait till my hourly close, like I said, which will be hopefully, maybe we'll get into this range, maybe we'll pop here, we'll hold, and then we'll have to break this trend line for 39 to go. And that would be interesting for me. I like that more so than what I was looking at anyway. So we're trying to hold this upper band of VWAP. Still looking okay with that. Give me 3 more minutes or 2.5 more minutes. Yeah, 2.5 more minutes. Starting to crack 44. Giving it, you can see it is support. It's not giving you that hard flush that you would expect from a crack of a wedge pattern such as this. So still bullish, still bulls in control. Delta is still acting strong. Every time there's a chance, it seems to be ticking up a little bit stronger than price. S&Ps is getting a, Delta being a little heavier than it is in the NQ. 3 minutes or so, 2 minutes until I can start really looking and evaluating and trying to enter into a trade. Give me 1 minute. I'll be right back. If it breaks down below, good on that. I'm not looking to enter on it in a minute. All right. Looks like that crack is starting to come in. I want to see that start to roll over a little bit. Now I can get my idea in place. Put my heating pack here. All right, good. Good, great, grand. So my levels still kind of working. I don't want to short this now since we're right up on here. Maybe I want to see a crack of this trend line here. You know what? I will. I'm going to short it. Oh, I missed it. I didn't click the button. That's hilarious. Let's get it back above it. And then I'll short it. Good delta push. Oh, that was good. Nice quick 10 points right off of that level. I didn't click the button quick enough. I want to get up over that 39 and then short through that 39. That'd be nice. Maybe a nice pop off of here, off this trend line, and then start to rotate up. If not, we're going to get short through this low. There's NVIDIA with a little bit of a bounce. Come on, get up and over that. That'd be nice. Get up higher, up into that 650s. Give me that up into that 650s would be great. And then I can take the crack of 39 and the trend line at the same time. S&P's is bidding up. I'm going to hopefully get that pop over that 39 up into 45, 50. And then I can look for the trend line crack to be a lower high in price. And then a crack of this line here, trend line. Good. Delta's not playing along, which is nice. 50-50 on the tilt. It's okay with me. Get up to 50. Wick this high. If you could wick 47, that would be ideal. Okay. We're up into that area where now I will like to see if this will come down and fade this 39. And I'll risk to the high, whatever this candle is. If it does come down and trigger me in. S&P is looking to crack the high. That's the only concerning part. Maybe I got to wait till it gets to 590. 56.90. If we break these highs, I don't like now. Delta's not playing along, so that's good too. I want this to go quickly. I don't want it to just linger around. I don't want to get triggered in and linger, right? I want to trigger in and melt pretty quickly so I can get to either break even fast or start to trail it, kind of my fast move, fast trail type deal, with this being the right timing, waiting all day, waiting patiently for a level to come into play, getting a delta divergence, getting price to not follow through to the upside after finally cracking through. But it is holding on the 30. As I mentioned, if we can get up to 50, that'd be nice, like a wick of 47, but that also tells me that it doesn't want to go. I'm willing to take the short and take the chance now. NVIDIA's starting to roll. Let's see if this goes quickly right here. Should be over that. There's a good quick move to the downside. Really nice. I need to get lower, though. Get it to go down, crack that 30. Leaving that stop right there. But I'll get it to break even by clicking the break even. But I'm not going to drag that around a bunch. I would like that to stay over that. I am only doing this one trade here. Not going to hammer into it a bunch of times. If this is not the right timing, then it is what it is. It seems like it's grabbing liquidity here and starting to rotate. But NVIDIA's still selling, so should still be okay. I want to get through 30. If I can get through 30, I'm going to break even. That 32 level is acting pretty supportive there. I don't like it, so I'm going to hold. If it does go, then great. I'm okay with an even squash. All right, it's fine. Let it go, break up. I'm fine with. When I'm away from my levels, I don't really like it too much. That was a perfect entry, and my stop was moved just too quickly. Didn't trust my levels there, but that was a really, really nice move. Duty. Give me that one more pop. There we go. Get up above that level. Continue the long push. Make me feel good about taking that break-even trade. Got to get good timing here. Delta still lower. I want price to push up a little bit more. Get up into that upper band. Then fail this. Held the trend line once again. That was a nice little time correction. Still bullish, seemingly. I got out at even, which is, very good. Fine with me after this kind of pop, right? You can see why I'm very quick, especially away from my levels, to trail to break even on that. Because just the way price action acts, if it's not going to get through a very strong structure level, I'm not going to go ahead and take it. I'm not going to hold it very long. It's basically a time stop. I don't want to be involved if it's not going to play along correctly. I do like this failure still, but I want it to play along at the level. The lower high, delta still lower high. I think we still can go higher. $700 probably comes into play. That's pretty high up there. I took my one shot at it at the timing I thought was correct. After waiting until all the way till 10 o'clock, letting that hourly close happen, honestly, the short was there, right? We would have been basically covered, had some move, but I have to follow my rules. I can't take this setup at an hourly close, right? 5 minutes to an hourly close. Yes, I got really nice price movement on that, wedge breakdown, but I got to follow that rule, right? Same reason I didn't get into the one before. Same reason I didn't get into this one. Not the same reasons, but it doesn't 100% fill my criteria for an entry, so I don't get it. This was. We're at that key level. We're at a structure level. We had a delta playing along in our favor. Price seems to want to play. There is definitely some semblance of an idea of a short here. Russell is trying to push down. NVIDIA is holding below 130.78, so trying to hold below that previous high from Monday. I can anticipate maybe a pullback down to 130 even, which could give us that draw of price action on NQ to break through this 39 and start to rotate even further to the downside. So that's why my short idea is still valid. It's just a matter of letting it play. We did get a delta divergence, right? You can see it right here. Price made new highs. Delta made a lower high, right? So this is where we're at currently with the delta divergence. If this now decides to crack up and go higher, then, it is what it is. But until that does break, then there is still going to be a lack of aggressive buyers coming in at these highs. Russell's still creeping down. S&P is still pretty strong. $668 is the level that I saw as being very magnetic. So could we get to 668? Still potentially yes. I would like to see this crack break down, get through where I'm at right now, and just start to melt off and then never come back, that would be great. Well, like I said, with that delta divergence, making that lower high starting to play in our favor, I think we can get through our lows. And my entry is down below that 39, but that's just because I feel like that's a good, continuation, acceleration. Could this crack of this trend line here be the correct move? It could be, absolutely. But also, I don't like to play up here because I think that we can continue up, even still one more, more push. There's no end in sight to the upside. Overall, like I said, very patient today. I didn't do very much. I took one break even trade, which is basically I got my fees taken care of here. That's that. One break even trade. Do we still have the delta divergence, or is delta starting to play along? Still making lower highs on delta and still trying to push highs in price. So if this cracks here and starts to push up and make new highs, which is like it looks like it just did, now we're gonna watch to see, does it continue up to make a new high here? I like that short idea from the delta divergence. I don't want to try it yet. Like I said, I don't want it up above my levels. I want to accept back down below through my levels. 25 was that key point, and right there we held right above it. So still, we closed that 30-minute, that hourly above that 25, and now we are trying to hold above the high of that previous candle. So the 30-minute candles are still working to the upside. 668 is the next overhead resistance for an interesting price point for me. Still haven't quite ticked it yet, which is right here. Very happy with moving that stop as quickly as I did based on price action, based on that 25 level. Not looking to take much heat on that, especially away from my levels. Like I said, are we going to get another little rising wedge here that we can stick to the short side? But NVIDIA still holding above 130.78, looking to go over 131. If it does that, then this still pushes up higher. We're in the final hour of the stream for the week. I'm very pleased as to how we have been just very disciplined with the hurricane the last 2 days, the first 2 days of the week, because we couldn't really stream, couldn't really trade. Yes, I executed in between. Didn't really need to do that, but I did. We're looking to see if we can catch one more good trade for the week. Do want to see if this will go through these levels down below here, below 39. If I can get down below 39, I think we can at least get to 20, 25, and then we can make a decision below 25. Do I think it happens within the next 15 minutes? Potentially. And then from there, we want to see if we can get below, let's see. I mean, we could still go down into 600 for that pullback and still be bullish, right? Delete that. Very, 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 very nothing burger for me today. Could be a really good day if this decides to sell off really hard, really fast for no reason. We don't have anything else the rest of the day. I mean, we do have whatever WASD report is, probably some sort of gas stuff. Baker Hughes oil rig. Nothing that's going to affect our trading currently. I just kind of want to be sitting back, sitting on my hands. If this does trigger me in, it's because it did sell off quite hard, and we are, running into some sellers coming into this market. I do not see still a lower level of delta, but we are creeping up higher, higher low, higher low, higher low. I would like to see delta start to break. If delta could break, that'd be nice. There starts to push down, starts to get heavy. I want to see get even heavier through 44. That means that we're going to start to see some sellers step in. Russell's starting to tick up a little, which we've been diverged a little bit. So maybe that Russell starting to flow some of these bigger funds into the small cap names and out of the Mag 7, which will take money out of NVIDIA and put it into the Russell, which will then maybe get the NQ to pull back some. But still just kind of straight up. There's the heaviness. That's a nice little push. Let's see if it'll go further now. Is this going to confirm to break down, or are we going to stay up here? NVIDIA bounced. Is it going to crack? Here we go. Let's see if we get triggered in and if it bounces on me or if it's going to go ahead and continue to melt off through our level. I'm not asking for a huge move. I'm asking for just a corrective pullback down to 600-ish. Would be really comfortable. That's a nice, really nice liquidity push down. Hopefully that's not just a grab. Hopefully that's going to get us, if it bounces a little here, that'd be even better. You see how that level is reactive. That 39.75 is very reactive as a bounce point. I like it to bounce and then give me a nice little failure. Let's see what happens. We're going to get triggered here. So we are short through the 39s. See if it'll play for us or not this time around. Once, twice, 3 times through. Possibly could be good. We got to get through 25s. Got to get through 25s. Being patient with it. See if the 25s will go. Delta did push heavier. Come on now. That's a nice bounce point, though. If it's not going to go here, then it's probably not going to go, and then it's going to rally up higher. So let's see if NVIDIA can continue to sell off through that 130, 69, 30, 70. Yep, there it goes. A little bit more. Can we get through 125? Can we get through 125? 625. Get me through 625 here. Can we get a good heavy flush here? That's nice. Really a good push there. I'm going to go to where I cover my fees today. There we go. My fees are covered, and I'm out. I made $9.40 on that trade. Big time trade there. It didn't go how I wanted it to. It wants to go upside. I feel like this just wants to grab my liquidity and go. So if we don't break up and go and fail, then, NVIDIA is going now. So maybe it'll go. But like I said, we're away from my zones. for me to be up $9 on one account, $9 on the other. Big time win today. I like this short still. I just don't have full trust in it. That 25 level is super, super structured. I'm going to use this little bang here. This is acting more like this here. Right? Delta did push lows. It just didn't quite make new lows. Maybe it wants to get up one more time, stop some more people out. I don't want to get chopped around, right? I'll take my little base hit. My two really good trades today. One break even, $0 for a $2.80 fee. Then I took a $15 winner just there on my move to break even because, like I said, I don't trust this to not want to continue to go higher after the way the price acted. If it was going to crack here and go, it was going to go so fast. It was not. It was going to do what it did here. Really, should I have front run my level twice? Yes, I should have, but I didn't, right? So if it's not going to break my level and it's not going to go quickly, then I'm not going to go ahead and hold it. I'm just going to take my break even and run. I still have bullets in the gun. I can still execute on it if it decides to start to rotate back the other direction. But for me, I'm not quite convinced. Not quite convinced quite yet. Right? I tried it twice. Took break even twice on it. Could the third time be the charm? It most definitely could be. Maybe get up up to 50 again and see if it'll come crack this trend line the next time around. There it goes. There it goes. I like that wick up there. Still green for the week. We're very cautious around these levels. I do like this as a short idea around a key zone. However, we are still holding this 625 level. Maybe see where this 30-minute candle closes because, like I said, it's not really like I'm looking to catch a huge move here. I just want to find a nice clean break, something that happens quickly, something I can just take my money and run on for the weekend, right? Very patient today. We did only wait until all the way up till our next area of resistance here for our short idea. This is why I have this zone, right? Is because of this area here. If we start to see that push down here and accept below that 25, then that maybe makes sense to start to look for that short again. But until then, I really feel like I need confirmation at this point because it's just being a little rangy up here, a little choppy. That really did break nicely from the top. Could have cheated on it, front ran it, got aggressive with it. But like I said, that 668 was that wall. I wanted to see that get tagged, never did. Kind of came back down through here from 60. Let's call it, if you got your entry at 62 down to our entry. And there you go to 25. If 25 breaks, NVIDIA is selling off, but right into some resistance. So that right into a resistance point now. At the same time, NVIDIA, and Q is at some support. I should say we're at some support on NVIDIA. A chop zone. Still don't trust that 25. It's the right move. Maybe wrong timing. Waited for this to go. Like I said, we're extended from the range. I want to just get a little bit of a pullback. It does look like it still wants to. NVIDIA is catching a little bounce. So maybe we get one more pop back up. Then we can get ourselves a short. But still don't trust the shorts to convince me today. Because it is Friday. It is trending to the upside. We tend to kind of continue that upside trend on Fridays. Delta's creeping back up here from that low. If we get back above 39, the long could be in. I'm going to see what happens with this 30-minute as well. If the 30-minute can hold that 32 to 25 area, then potentially could still continue on for the upside move. This could just be a pause. Yeah, that's a failed breakdown, I think, to be honest with you. That 25 acted as some major support there. Delta's negative from 44. Sorry, I'm a little quiet. Just trying to really analyze this price action here a bit. Maybe I'll look and see what kind of orders we got up above 54. There's a 50 lot. Down below, we flashed some size, but nothing really convincing that I see. Quite, yeah, what is this? A 50 lot, 27. Nothing huge. Below, above is still at 52. There's a 50 lot. So see if that gets filled. Up a solid $9.40. It looks like that 52 looks like it wants to magnet it up. It looks like it wants to hold this 30-minute candle to the upside. There was that 52 fill, or actually didn't end up getting filled yet. There it is. Didn't show up on the size on the time of sales, so potentially they pulled that. $665 up overhead. Oh, potentially spilling my water here almost. It's Friday. Like I said, it's that kind of day where you're not looking to really give back much, doing your best to find yourself an opportunity here, which Delta really told us the story coming into this trade here. Didn't trust that Delta sweep. Really non-trustworthy on the day based on the levels that we're at. I didn't want to just hammer and hammer and hammer and hammer and hammer. That's just not my thing. I don't like it. I get myself into trouble when I do that. If we get back up into this and make a lower high, then if we attempt to break through 25 again, then maybe we'll look to short that before the stream is done. But realistically, it seems like we might not get it unless we start to get some continued selling on NVIDIA, which it looks like it's still holding below 130, so could look to rotate it through. If we do get below here, you would anticipate stops to get run because people are trying to get long through this level. So I will short that 37 level one more time if it does come through it. Do I think it will? I think this might have been just the next level of grabbing some buyers and continuing us up to the upside. Like I said, we do have that entire move yesterday wasn't unreasonable, but also at the same time easy enough that it wants to get refilled back up to at least 774, 772, 800. I mean, this is all-time high trading. We've only been in these levels for a week now, so let's see what happens with it. Is this going to stick in a range here now at the top for the rest of the day? Probably not. It'll probably break out of whatever this is, probably base out and then look to rally. I want this 39 to give up. I want to give up heavy. I want to give up hard. Delta continuing want to have aggressive sellers here. S&P is now looking like it wants to start to push down a little bit. Nvidia is still holding below 130. I will short this again if it goes. Keeping my tops very tight. If I would just have shorted up over here at 660 every time, then we'd be doing pretty good. But we're trying to catch the full break, the faster move, the real actual seller to come in. 35. There is a 50 lot. 50 lot. 50, 60 lot there. 60 contracts showing below. Where was that again? 34. So it's going to pull price to it, probably. 34. All right. Does that get heavy from here now? Let's see. Does my patience pay today, or does it hold me back from making a little bit of money and walking away? We're going to see what happens. That was a nice little pullback right to 39.75. You can see how reactive that level is. Looking to get short. Maybe if I run the sirens here. If I run the sirens, we'll get this thing going. I'm running them. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. If I run the sirens, maybe the price will want to go my way. Didn't get filled there. Good. If it's going to fill me heavy, fill me fast. Do it quickly. Let's go. Run those sirens. Run them downside. Come on down. Doesn't want to go heavy. Come on, get heavy. Looks like we're going to take a loss on this one, probably. Unless it wants to get through our level here. What's Delta showing? Yep. Come on, get through our levels. Nvidia's starting to try and sell, and S&P's looks like it wants to get heavy. Can we get through our level this time? We're through that low. Can we get through down to that 25? Can we get down to 25? I'm going to let this one play out here. Patience paying nothing but annoying trading right now. Third time's the charm on it. That's what I always say. Looks like a head and shoulders. Looks like a good pattern to play. If it would get down through 25, then we would at least be confidently secured in this trade. Right now, we're just lingering at our entry. I want things to move quickly in my favor, so that's usually when I like to try and tighten up and get stopped for break even or close to it. I don't want to risk this whole 200. I guess I will. I mean, it's not like a big deal here. Waiting patiently. NVIDIA looked like it wants to catch a bid. This does not want to get heavier. Come on, there we go. Push now. That's what I want to see. Give me something like that. There we go. Come on, push. Push downside now. I'm going to talk to it. You got to talk to your trades a little bit. Let this thing rotate to that 25. You would think that would get to the 25 at least. What's the tilt doing? I mean, the delta, anything heavy below 44, 25. It is still got that order at 25 lingering there. I should be able to get price to 25s. I got to get an espresso shot in me. Maybe it'll help quickly before it stops me out. Just kidding. Oh, it's super hot. It's so good. It's so hot. Espresso is so hot when you do this. All right. It's winding up here. Probably going to explode out to the high side. And there we are. We're out 190. Flatten all. Make sure that's good. Alrighty. Ah, burnt my tongue. Boo. Was that the wick off high that we wanted? Trying to play this level as best I can. Not quite getting it to play along. So maybe end up down on the day, but we'll see what happens with this. S&P's push in. NVIDIA still looking like it wants to crack. Am I a duped bear again? Even though I had 3 opportunities to take this. Couple break evens, 1 loser, and let's see if this will go. Right? Let it give a chance to go. Nope. NVIDIA looking like it wants to creep back up again. Tried to avoid extending through my levels. That 25 is really the breakdown point. Let's see if this breaks out here on the upside. If that does, maybe we'll take the long through 50. Long through 50 up to 68. But I'm still looking for this heaviness to come in. Let's see if this breaks and goes. Or if it's going to fail. Looks like a fail break. Come on now. Friday doldrums. Rolling into the end of the day here. Looking to see if I can capture one more okay trade at the zones. Still looking at that 68 level. I'm going to buy it. I'm such a pussy on breakouts. I can't take that trade there. It was perfect too. Very, very, very just chill for me. I executed on a couple. This one seemingly like it wanted to get heavier again really quickly. Didn't grab to higher low. I took this break of 50 and then I took myself out at break even. I wanted to take it to 68. Probably is where it'll end up. At least maybe even higher if it wicks the high of the day. Took myself out on break even. See you Monday, Carlos. I appreciate everybody coming by this week. Down just shy of a full loser. Nothing crazy. Nothing that next week we can't absolutely crush. This week has been a little on and off. Next week, my streaming schedule might be a little messy, Tuesday and Wednesday, because of some trainings. But the rest of the week, I do plan on being on normal schedule. Monday, definitely. 8:30 Central Time, I will be here. Failed breakouts. Still got that order lingering there. That 75 lot at 665. Could get drawn to that. NVIDIA looking like it wants to pop. Patience, patience, patience. It pays. However, sometimes I, stubbornly around my levels, wait for my levels, and I do not front run them when I really see opportunity here and here to kind of front run my level, front run my short, but really trusting not much on these moves because of we are in this bullish day today. Watching NVIDIA looking like it wants to curl back down. Could look to fade this high, just really tight stop on the high here. However, I don't know. Like, let's say if I'm going to look for what I didn't do earlier and maybe make the adjustment right here, right? You look to catch the short below here, front run it to the level, then see if the level plays. That's the way to do it, seemingly today. S&Ps might want to get to 56.90 and a quarter before everything happens. So if this does come down and trigger me in, I'm going to be very quick with it again. Like I said, all these happen very fast, so it should happen quickly if it is going to happen. If it's going to make a higher low, well, a higher high here, a lower high here. Delta is kind of working with it. Delta on the S&P is still pushing higher as well. NVIDIA looking to creep up to 130.78. Still kind of just not quite giving you a volume push to break above. I think it's raining outside here. Got about 15 more minutes left in the stream. Let's see if I can get myself back to even. Make a nice little quick trade here down to rotate this back to my level. If not, we're probably going to break out and continue on. Was that 68? Did that tag 68? 66. 666. Looking to quickly fade that range there. Just dancing around a bit at this level. So see, there's a good break, good flush down. We're at even now. Let's see if we can get this to go and rotate all the way down to our lower level. Get ourselves back even for the day and then beyond. Maybe we can crack through 39. I want to trail it down to that level. See if we can get this to continue to sell. It did before, maybe not now. Looks like it's getting very whippy. I'll take that 40 bucks. I'm taking all these little base hits on these because I'm not convinced on these setups, right? But there it goes, right? So this is where you got to kind of just start to get into the habit of, if you're going to take the position, let it happen. If you got to go to break even. That was a really nice, clean move break there, but doesn't convince me that it's going to go the other way. Maybe if this S&P gets to 5690, then we'll actually have an idea of if this is going to short or if this is going to continue long. So I'm going to wait for that 5690 to kind of play in. About 15 more minutes left in the stream. It's Friday, light day. You know, it took one kind of average size loser. We've took a couple chip shots here. I wanted to kind of take advantage of one of these moves down, which I may do with, if this wedges up a little bit, maybe gives me one more wick. I'll start to try and short 60 again, just to play this kind of range type play here. Is it going to just be this break of this? I'll probably try and play that if we can get above it. Come up into it a little bit more. $66 long. I'll sell this if it breaks through here. Like I said, we're just going to try and play this range a little bit above our zone. Try and kind of take advantage of what we saw over here before. Something similar to that. Get back to 25. That would be ideal. Will it be likely? I don't know. Overall, like I said, I set my personal daily loss limit to 500. So anything under that, I'm okay with. I'm trying to risk money to make money. That's how trading works. I'm not in any pressure point where I see that I need to panic and execute things that aren't there. This just appears to be correct. Along the lines with the strategy at a key zone. I think that price is slowing down quite a bit. We do have Delta working in our favor, not making new highs, looking to try and continue to push us down. There are more aggressive sellers coming in. Tilt is heavier to the long side, not very heavy, but it's tilted a little bit to the long side. So buyers trying to step in at the highs which is, for me, I'm thinking that we try and shake them out again. NVIDIA curling down. I'll probably get triggered in on this. I want NVIDIA to break to the downside hard fast. Try to give it the appropriate risk. However, I think if NVIDIA holds this level here, then we're probably going to have to get out of this kind of quick. Yeah, NVIDIA is catching a little bit of a bid. I want to see this rotate down to 39, down to 25. Those are the targets for this. Patience on this probably last trade of the day here. Some size just got filled right there. I'm going to see if that'll just flush us or not. I'm covering my fees. It's a break even. It's a free trade for me. I'm very, very quick to trail in this all-time high environment. There we go. There's a nice breakdown. Should continue to break. Let's see if we can get a rotation fully all the way through our levels here. I'm going to go ahead and take that 155, get myself back to even. If it does flush this 39, then I'll be very happy. We front ran our level, and it looks like it wants to pop off of it. I don't want it. This is a very, very fast move. It's kind of heavy. I want to be above this candle here. Hopefully we can hold that candle, hold that candle, hold it, hold it, hold it. Come on, baby. Break through. Get through that low. Get us up over. We're definitely red to green on the day, but I think we can get heavier down to 25. If we can get to 25, I'll be very happy with this trade here. Get me through 39.75. Get me through 39.75. If not on this candle, then we're probably out anyway. So we'll go red to green on the day. Be very happy with that. But I would like to see this get heavier here. This 39 is really, really strong support right now. If it gives up, it probably gives up like another heavy big red candle as well. So I'm going to leave it alone for this. If it trails me out, it trails me out. It's fine. But I think we can get through it. There we go. That's a push down through. I'll go right above it. So we definitely secured a red to green day here. Now let's see if we can get down to 25s. I want to see if I can get down to 25s. All right. Nice, good trade there. Very, very happy with that. I want to see if we can get down to 25s. Get me down to 25s. All right, we're good. Up 83 bucks. Take it, leave it, get out of here. We front ran the order. Got ourselves a nice little $200 winner there. 240. Chip shot, chip shot, chip shot. Back even, lock ourselves out. No more FOMO. You go red to green on a day. Continue to end your week strong. Yes, we're up 161 on the week. Across two accounts. That's straight green days like this. The first day I should have never traded. This is a totally honest opinion on myself. I was up 50 bucks. At that point, really, I should have just decided, let's get out of here. I was trading in between power outages and on my phone. But we went today. We went a little bit green here at $9 in profit, took our full loss, and then we chip shotted our way back until we finally made the adjustment, front ran the order, got ourselves back to green on that 240 winner, right? Chip shot, chip shot. We took basically our chip shot winners. If I could take these base hits every day, I'm cool. I'm going to have really, really good days where we actually execute, never take any heat, and be just very happy about that. This is the same thing we did. Both accounts you can see up the same amount. Very happy with the day. Copy trading too. And then probably you can see we rotated right off that level right there. So we pretty much caught the entirety of this whole move, aside from a little bit of this wick down here where we could have came in, but we got to try and let this thing go if it's going to go. And since it's not going to go, it's going to rally out. We are manually locked out. No more trades for the day. We hit the...
Lemon fell off the lemon tree.
Whoa, the lemons fell off. Show the people that their lemons fell off the lemon tree. Oh, man. Say, have a good weekend, everybody.
Have a good weekend, Evan.
Here, come over this way, little Lens. There you go.
Oh, a lemon.
There you are. Lemons on the tree. Yeah, well, that's what happens. Lemons get matured. They're little because it's a little lemon tree.
And this one is fully big.
Wow. You know what you should do?
I know what you're going to say. Make a lemon.
No. How did you know I was going to say that?
Because Mommy said it. I know you were going to say it.
We should try it. See if it's good, dude.
No, I'm going to keep the baby around.
But they're going to go bad if you don't make something out of them. That's what lemons are for eating, dude. Oh, that's cute. I love it, bud. Good job. All right, well, overall, very good end to the day. Finally caught the little tiny piece of what I wanted to catch. Should have never took that full loser there, honestly. Should have just been shorting these up top once I started to recognize that those were there. But like I said, overall, really good week. Every day we streamed, we've been green. Yes, we're small green. We're trying to build a buffer in these XFAs. It's a small buffer currently, but every day green counts towards it. Should be probably $100 more in here, But like I said, I'm just trying to take my base hits, minimize my losses, and I will. You've seen it happen. Catch, $1,000 winner here, a couple $100 winner there. Hopefully this price action from yesterday and to today brings us into an area where we can make decisions around zones, around levels. And be happy to make our money and walk away. Like I said, next week back on, same time, same place. Yes, this opportunity was here for the long. I'm not a breakout trader. Didn't take it. Wasn't trying to execute on this. Although it was a beautiful move, could have tried it. Didn't. Overall, like I said, very good. If you got your your free reset, make sure you use it. Until Monday, I appreciate everybody. Have a great week. We will be back Monday morning. We're going to be streaming Monday, Thursday, and Friday next week. I'm pretty sure Tuesday and Wednesday are going to be a wash for training. So just be mindful of that. So until Monday morning, I'll talk to everybody later. Peace out.